Mandla Joan asked to join me is that at the beginning of yesterday, Jacques acknowledged us as being part of his committee to help us get this conference off the ground. And what we need to do now, it's a need, is to acknowledge Jacques and his leadership. That really acknowledge you, Jacques, for your leadership of the committee and to get this conference off the ground. You gave us the vision, the learning continent, and it was incredible because you pulled us in at just the right time. Like you had already pulled Joanne in, and I was thinking, what about me? You know, I was feeling decidedly FOMO-ish, and then there was a plan, and then you pulled me and Oz and Mandla at just the right time. So thanks for being the fearless leader. It was an awesome conference, and thanks for acknowledging us. And with this, we acknowledge you and your leadership. Thank you.
Have 3 seconds to thank some people as well.
Yes, go
It'll
for
take
it.
me very quickly. So, yeah, thanks so much to Jacques for his fearless leadership and his support. And then there's a couple of other people that have really supported me at the Indaba Tree, and I'd really like to kind of thank them. Donnie, wherever you are, if you're still here. There you go, for jiggling and, you know, causing controversy. And Marit and Olga in the front here, if you guys want to just stand up. These wonderful ladies. For helping capture, for tweeting, for all of that kind of thing, and for Sandra, who was here yesterday, but unfortunately isn't here today. So thanks so much, guys, for your support and for your help as well.
All right. Okay, so I really have a need for a beer now. More than acknowledgement. I hope your System 2 brains are as tired as mine. All the information, all the ideas. And what I really liked about this last talk was it was open and it was a discussion and it's far from conclusive. And we're all learning. And yeah, I just want to thank all of the delegates for your contribution. The speakers as well, the invited speakers. You really made an impact on this community. Yes, I've said thanks to everyone before. The JCSE, they're just in the background. I don't know if you saw them or spoke to them, but they made things happen. A lot of people congratulated me on how smoothly things went, and we can't take the credit for that. So yes, let's bring this to an end. What's after this? So. This is not the end. Join the communities. I hope you saw a few opportunities for that today, for your own learning, for contributing things that you've learned, and getting involved in education and all levels of learning in your organization and in the continent as a whole. So go and seek those opportunities now. I really hope we open up a few doors. That's really it from my side. Before I give the microphone to Prof. Barry to end the conference, ThoughtWorks at 6 o'clock. You will, Neil Ford will do a community event there. Aslam, is that right? And then Hendrik at RMB at 7 o'clock. So please join us there, or the colleagues that missed all the action today and yesterday. So yeah, without further ado, Prof. Barry.
Great. Pleased to see there's still people here at the end of the conference. You haven't passed out yet. It's been an amazing conference, and I just have to express my needs, and I've got 3 needs. The first need is just to give a big picture view. The second is to just add to a few of the thank yous, and then to look forward and to see what we've got to do to have this conference turn 5 years old next year. So the first need is to paint the big picture and to just very briefly track some history. 5 years ago, Peter Scheffel came to speak to me from BBD, and there had been an attempt to start this Agile Africa, and it flopped. It didn't happen. The guys who were trying to get it going as a community conference, for whatever reason, didn't manage to make it happen. And BBD was very, very, very keen that the conference should happen, and they saw it as a big, important need that the community had to have this event. And he kind of spoke to me as director of JCSE and said, can't we facilitate it? And here we are 4 years later, and the conference has, I think, succeeded in putting a flag in the ground and saying, we've got a community conference that's been going for 4 years, and it's grown in size, it's grown in scope, it's grown in ambition, and we very consciously have stood in the background. So JCSE wants this to succeed, because part of our mandate is to build this community and build the South African software industry. And this conference represents that ambition. And we want the community to run it and own it. But we'll keep in the background. We'll stand there. We'll help bridge the finances and do the admin and help to facilitate things. And I think that, to us, is a huge success, to see it as a community conference. And it's been so amazing this year, last year, to see the community chairing this thing, bringing the people together, getting the keynotes, getting the speakers, structuring how this event happens. So congrats to Jacques and his team. Congrats to the team from last year who pulled it all together, and from the 2 previous years. And then to my stand-in and the person who's really driven it from our side, which is Avia. So thank you, Avia, for driving it. And well done. So I think that this really adds to the big picture we've got. I'm terrible at kind of saying thank yous because I always miss people out. So a big thank you to everyone, to the sponsors, the organizers, the speakers, the delegates, and everyone else who's made this happen. And a big thank you. And then we want to ensure that this conference turns 5 next year and turns 5 in style. We'll kind of have a birthday cake next year, if we can remember to do it. And we'll blow out 5 candles and the conference will be 5. But we really want next year to be a wonderful, wonderful conference, still a community conference. We can, and it might have leaked out, or it might be me making the announcement, but we've got Martin Fowler next year agreed. Martin will be here again next year. And we're planning to have a surprise 1 or 2 other keynotes or key participants who'll definitely come. So next year's on. We've got the conference. We'll agree on venues and dates and that. I think we've sort of got the date, which is the same time at the sort of beginning of August next year. I'm getting a sense that people like this venue, and we'll look at this as the venue next year. Although my heart is still to have it in Braamfontein, but we'll see how that goes. And we are keen to begin the work for next year's conference right now. And we're calling for sponsors. We're calling for people who can sponsor. And sponsorship makes one thing possible. It helps to keep the price down. And it will help us to also have more bursaries and more chance that people can come to the conference for free next year if they can't afford it. So that's where sponsorship helps a lot in a conference like this. It's a non-profit. No one's making money out of it, but we'll invest any money into making it an affordable conference. So, and we are, might be a bit of a gimmick, but it's not really a gimmick. We are saying that that the website for next year will in fact be going live in the next few days. And it will still have a lot of missing bits, but you can register now for next year. And the first 50 people who register and pay before the end of November will get a super discounted seat for 2,000 Rand. So that the cost for next year will be higher, but for 2,000 Rand, the super early bird, if you book and pay before end of November, it'll be 2,000 Rand, and there are 50 super early bird seats for next year. And that helps us just ensure that we've got the kind of momentum going. And then we'll approach sponsors. Anyone who wants to be a sponsor, we putting out the call now, is sponsor us next year in any way. Sponsor the fishbowl, sponsor a lunch, sponsor a talk, sponsor a keynote, anything we can do to bring sponsors in. And yeah, that's it. So go off, get not drunk, because you must get home, or if you get drunk, get home in a safe way, not driving. And we look forward to seeing you next year, and we look forward to seeing you participate in the exciting things we're doing in Braamfontein, in the Fagugezi Festival, in JCSE. But we part of the community, and we need your help as much as the community will benefit from our. So thank you, Mr. Chairman, sir. Well done, brilliant conference. Thank you all.
Okay, so the conference is over, but we want to respond to your needs. So fill in your feedback forms in your bags if you can. It's the only, we're building, each year we're building on the previous conference if you followed it. So please let us know. Cheers.